This is Grizz Nation Live, a weekly in-depth look at your Memphis Grizzlies. Tonight's show is hosted by Local 24 Sports Director Doc Holliday. It is co-hosted by the radio voice of the Grizzlies, Eric Hasseltine. Special feature reports are provided by Local 24 Sports reporter Jessica Benson. The program is sponsored by Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. And by Onyx Restaurant, jazz, wine, dine, mingle, and mix.
Hi, how are you? Doc Holliday. He's Eric Hasseltine. Welcome to another edition of Grizz Nation Live. Now, Eric, a mixed bag for the Grizzlies last week. Impressive road win one night, unimpressive road loss another night, impressive home win another night.
Yeah, it was kind of the roller coaster. It may be kind of what is the epitome of this season. You're going to see some nice wins. You're going to see some nights where they struggle a little bit, and that's what we saw on the road. But then coming back home, I thought a nice way to bounce back. That's the test of a team that may be able to be pretty good when you're resilient, coming off a tough loss, come home and get a nice win.
Don't break it down right now. Don't break it down just yet. No, because before we get into the show, let's tell you what's coming up on the show. Of course, Eric and I with the weekly recap. We kind of talked about it just a little bit right there. Also, check out what we do. Eric rings it up and puts 3 on the board with my guy, Garrett Temple. Jessica Benson with a nice story on Utah. Like you said, Watanabe. He made his debut last night. And of course, Eric and I take a look at the week ahead. But first, we have to talk about what happened last night. The Beale Street Bears welcoming #1 overall pick DeAndre Ayton and the Phoenix Suns to town. Ayton had himself a nice little night, scoring 24 points, grabbing 8 boards, but he got his first Beale Street beatdown, courtesy of Marc Gasol and the Grizzlies. Big Spain was a big pain, putting up 19 points. Mike Conley had 18. Marson Brooks also with a nice game, and the Grizzlies dominating the first half, win easily, 117-96.
It really was an interesting night, Doc, because the first 6 minutes, the Grizzlies did not get really rolling offensively. It was the bench unit that came in and really gave them a boost. J.B. Bickerstaff said before the game he wanted to see the offense hit the thrusters, so to speak, get moving a little bit more quickly. Now, early on, they had a little bit of time off. And when NBA teams take 3 days off, sometimes they get a little rusty. The starters were a little rusty. They were down 9-6. They took a timeout. They got some bench guys in with the starters. All of a sudden, then the bench unit came, and they just started rolling. Wayne Selden was terrific. They all were terrific. Dylan Brooks, Omri Caspi, Shelvin Mack, all of them terrific. And that fed Mike and Mark from what I felt like. And even though DeAndre Ayton was sensational with no Devin Booker, the Suns just didn't really stand a chance. The Grizzlies were focused. They were locked in and hung another big number on the board on the home court.
Talk about that defense they played. The Grizzlies bearing down as well. Playing great perimeter defense and just being active and looking like they were fresh, too.
You know, I think the thing we forget when they score like they did that night is how good the defense can be. Because in today's NBA, when you hold a team under 100 points, especially a young athletic team with 2 veteran shooters like Ryan Anderson and Trevor Ariza, and you keep them under 100, you've done some good things defensively. I thought they were terrific defensively. Ayton got his, and that's going to be understandable when you got guys in foul trouble like Jaren Jackson Jr. He was in early foul trouble throughout the night. It was probably his toughest night so far this year. But when Ayton was getting his, nobody else was getting theirs. And when Ayton couldn't get his, nobody else still got theirs. And that was because the defense really locked in as a unit, held them under 100 points, and really cruised to an easy victory.
Now, we're talking about that easy victory now a couple of days before then. Wednesday, the Grizzlies going into Sacramento, trying to do something they hadn't done in 587 days, win back-to-back road games. Now, the first half looked like the Grizzlies would do just that. The Grizzlies building a 14-point lead, but it didn't last. Sacktown went to running and gunning, dunking in their second half. Grizzlies just couldn't keep up.
Boy, you're not kidding about the dunking. De'Aaron Fox's dunk on Marc Gasol was certainly something special, but the first half belonged to the Grizz. They built a 14-point lead late in the second quarter, and I thought at that point maybe got a little complacent. And that's been the thing that has plagued this team throughout the last couple of years. Go back to the playoff run. They would get big leads. They would feel like they're good. They're in a good spot, but you play a young team like Sacramento who is clearly focused on getting their young guys rolling, and they can come back and bite you, and that's what they did. Second half belonged to the Kings, and the Grizzlies were unable to make it back-to-back road wins. Like you said, that's a lot of days between those back-to-back road wins.
No doubt, but I'm going to get past it.
We're going to
start off on a positive.
Right.
The Grizzlies starting the week in Utah, taking on a young but very good Jazz team. Now, Utah with one of the rising superstars in the NBA, Donovan Mitchell, but the Beale Street Bears going back to their bully ball. came away with a very nice road win against a very nice Utah Jazz team. That's the kind of Beale Street Bears we're used to looking at.
Exactly, and this is exactly what J.B. Bickerstaff had drawn up. He wanted to get this game physical. He wanted to slow down the tempo. First 2 games of the season, the Jazz had 123 points in each game, identical numbers. They won 1, they lost 1 to the Golden State Warriors, but the Grizzlies came out, they kind of punched first. The Jazz kind of responded with their slowing it down, but they did not let Utah's offensive sets move freely. Joe Ingles, Donovan Mitchell, they had trouble getting good looks, and that really seemed to frustrate them. Jaren Jackson Jr. was really good. The whole team really kind of fed off of that physicality that they want to make their benchmark moving this season. Mike Conley came down. It was a stretch of 3 straight threes, though, from the bench, and I think what the Grizzlies realized in this game is that their bench can give them a huge boost when they need it. They got 2 threes from Shelvin Mack, and they got a 3 from Wayne Selden in the left corner. That pushed a lead, I think at the time that was 7 to 16, and all of a sudden the Jazz looked up and they said, hey, what the heck, man, this is not supposed to be a 3-point team, 3-point shooting team we're facing. And that gave them the boost they needed to get through that game. Now, they had to hold on at the end. Marc Gasol maybe got the most bizarre foul I've ever seen in my career in the NBA. Just pointing out a defense, a guy ran into his arm. He fouls out. Jazz made a little run, but you got to give the second unit credit. They held on, get a nice road win against a playoff team.
Now, real quickly, why can't we see the Beale Street Bears like this? It's like that's what they've been doing the last couple of years. They be good, then they go bad, then they go, and it's the same routine. How can we consistently see that kind of Beale Street Bears that was in Utah? Because they're supposed to beat Phoenix, and they were really supposed to beat Sacramento, but they lost. But they were really not really supposed to beat Utah to a lot of people, but they went in there and banged them out.
Again, I think this week's kind of a microcosm of some of the things we will see in the early season. If we're seeing this in March and April, we got a problem. We're seeing this early on. It's the microcosm of new faces, new places, still figuring out how to find that chemistry. Simply in Utah, they didn't make shots, but they defended well enough to get over that. In Sacramento in the second half, they didn't make shots, but they didn't defend well enough to get over that. Same thing on the opener in Indiana. We talked about that last week. So I think as the season goes along, they'll find more guys to rely on the offensive end when things are struggling. I thought in Sacramento they got a little complacent, tried to turn to Mark and Mike too much rather than having some other guys step up. We found some other guys step up last couple of nights. Hopefully that continues on Tuesday night when they host the Wizards with John Wall.
Now, one of those guys that's been stepping up is free agent acquisition during the offseason, Garrett Temple. Now, timeout. When time is back in, Eric sits down and rings it up with Mr. Garrett Temple. Nice little conversation those two have, so you want to watch it when Grizz Nation Live returns.
Come visit Onyx Restaurant at 1680 Madison in Midtown. Come enjoy our daily lunch specials, live bands, and casual dinner dining in our new space specifically designed for your enjoyment. With live jazz and R&B every Thursday through Saturday, Onyx Restaurant is your best choice for good food and good times. Jazz, wine, dine, mingle, and mix. Onyx Restaurant on the corner of Madison and Belvedere.
Factory Direct Pool Table Sale going on now at Family Leisure. We've received truckloads of pool tables from multiple manufacturers. Factory Direct pricing on all of the best brands. Save 20, 30, even 50%. Slate Pool Tables starting at $12.99 installed. With hundreds of in-stock pool tables to choose from, you can buy it today and enjoy it tomorrow. Huge savings on wall racks, pub tables, bars, and bar stools, and other game room items as well. Don't miss out. Factory Direct Pool Table Sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Well, family and fun come together.
We're expanding and modernizing the state's only children's hospital.
It's time for Children's of Mississippi to grow up, so I can grow up. So I can grow up. So I can grow up.
So she can grow up.
So we can grow up. So we can all grow up.
Help Children's of Mississippi grow.
So Mississippi's children can grow.
Learn more and donate today at growchildrens.org.
Today we're here to talk about trucks.
I love trucks.
Oh, what truck brand comes from the family of the most dependable, longest-lasting full-size pickups on the road?
I think it's the Chevy.
Ford.
It's not Ford.
I think it's Ram.
Not Ram either.
That's
It's Chevy.
Gorgeous.
Use Auto Show bonus cash to get a total value of $12,250 when you finance with GM Financial. That's over 20% below MSRP on this Chevy Silverado. Find new roads at your local Chevy dealer.
You're watching Grizz Nation Live, Sponsored by Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. And by Onyx Restaurant. Jazz, wine, dine, mingle, and mix.
Thanks for coming back to Grizz Nation Live. Now, Eric, in the offseason, the Grizzlies bringing in a couple of veterans. Not only are they very good, like on the basketball court, bringing in a lot of veteran leadership. And one of those guys, he seems to be a leader. One of the leaders on the team as soon as he got here is Garrett Temple. He's been making his presence felt.
Yeah, that was a great trade for the Grizzlies to get Garrett Temple from Sacramento. They sent Ben McLemore. They sent Deontay Davis to the Kings, a little bit of cash, to get a guy that was really well known throughout the league as a solid vet. On and off the court, he is a remarkable story, and the Grizzlies are lucky to have him. We had a chance to sit down with him after the game last night and ring it up and put 3 on the board. All right, Grizz Nation Live, it's time to ring it up and put 3 on the board with one of the newest Grizz, Garrett Temple. Good to have you.
Great to be here.
All right, nice win against the Phoenix Suns. Talk about how the team's progressing along. That's another night on the home floor where the offense kind of gets it rolling. On the road, you guys have been a little bit more defensive-oriented. What's going to be the makeup of this group?
We're going to have to be defensive-oriented, especially the way the league is going now. A lot of teams are putting up 100 points. So if we can hold teams under 100, especially on the road, we have a chance to get wins, and that's what you saw in Utah. Even in Sacramento, we held them under 100. We just didn't execute offensively like we wanted to. So defensively, that has to be our staple.
Let's talk a little bit about Sacramento. It's where you came from. You get the news that you're traded to Memphis. When the news happened, I went, "No, that's wonderful," because I always thought it would be a perfect fit. Did you feel the same way about this team? If you were going to leave a situation you liked, you'd want to go somewhere where you felt comfortable, and seemingly you've stepped right in.
No question. I appreciate that. And it's definitely a situation I thought was a match made in heaven, you know, with my background, having to grind my way into the NBA. And I've always admired this organization from afar because of the grit and grind mindset. So I thought, you know, my basketball, the way I play, could easily mesh well with the guys and the coaching staff that we have.
You got involved in some serious off-the-court stuff in Sacramento. There were some community affairs going. This is nothing new to you, though. Your father was the first African-American player at LSU. You followed in his footsteps playing there. How important is it for you to be a voice not only on the basketball court but in the community?
It's very important. As you stated, you know, I learned from my father, my mom as well. They're both in the social services industry, and I feel I'm obligated because of my platform to have a voice for the voiceless, to speak my mind and something that I feel like really affects us as Americans. And so I'm going to always continue to help out in the community as much as I can, and I'm waiting to figure out where to put my hand in here in Memphis.
One of the things I know you like to do to get away from the game is play the game of golf. What else do we need to know about Garrett Temple and the person Garrett Temple? Because what we see on the basketball court, I can already tell you, Grizz Nation really likes.
I appreciate it. We got to get on that golf course. I love watching movies. I'm a movie buff, man. So any chance I can get to go see the movie that's out at the nearest theater, I'm always going to do that. And honestly, I like to just read and relax. I'm a homebody guy.
As a movie buff, does it bother you when people quote movies while you're watching them with them?
I hope not, because I'm the guy that quotes the movies.
So you're that guy?
I'm that guy.
Oh, me too. See, I'm that guy too.
Exactly.
Major League, Top Gun, we got it all. But I mean, there's some other good ones in there too. What's your all-time favorite 5?
Life, Coming to America, Independence Day, Pursuit of Happiness, Wedding Crashers.
Just don't ask me to be the head of garbage. Akeem's got that job covered. Garrett Temple ringing it up, put 3 on the board. Doc, it was a great night Saturday night here at FedEx Forum. Back to the studio. Let me tell you, anybody good with Coming to America is good by me. I love that movie.
No doubt about it. I can't believe he didn't say Friday, though, man. Garrett Temple, where you from, man? You going to say Friday?
He said life. He said life. Life is good. Coming to America is solid.
You're right. Life and coming to... Okay, my bad. Salute to you,
If
Garrett.
only we could be Arsenio Hall and wire back to our friends and say, can you send us $1 million? Is that too much? No, why don't you ask for 2?
You forget about the other perk he got out of that move. I'm just going to leave it alone. He had to go back and get bathed.
Yeah.
The royal bathing.
we're trying to keep it a family.
But anyway, time out when time is back in. Salute to Garrett Temple. Also salute to you, what's his name? Watanabe. Spend some time with her. Jessica Benson with Utah.
Hi.
Hi.
You're picking up your SUV, right?
Yes.
Well, we not only fixed the dents, but we added a few things. Built-in 4G LTE Wi-Fi, Apple CarPlay compatibility, and a 7-inch diagonal touchscreen. We also painted it.
Whoa, this isn't our car.
It's a Chevy.
You're right, this is the Chevy Equinox. All those features come standard.
It's pretty much everything mine's not.
What more could you want?
Get 16% below MSRP on all 2019 Chevy Equinox LT models when you finance with GM Financial. That's over $4,800 on this Equinox. See your Mid-South Chevy dealers.
If you're in the process of hiring a lawyer to represent you in your injury case, let me give you some important tips. First, ask the lawyer when the last time they had a trial was. Then ask, what did the insurance company offer before taking that case to trial? I'm Matt Morgan of Morgan & Morgan. Here's some straight talk. If they don't give you that information, don't hire them. At Morgan & Morgan, every single one of our lawyers will be happy to share that with you. Morgan & Morgan, forthepeople.com.
Factory Direct Spa Sale going on now at Family Leisure. We've received truckloads of spas at discounted prices. Save 20, 30, even 50% or more. 4-person spas only $12.99. Swim spas as low as $99.99. Don't miss out. Factory Direct Spa Sale going on now at Family Leisure.
The USA has lots of buried pipelines, so it's important to know the signs of a leak, like if you smell unusual odors or hear hissing, see bubbling earth or water, or dead or dying vegetation. Some signs are even harder to miss, like dirt being blown into the air, a frost ball in an open field, or a flame coming from the ground. If you see any of these signs, don't wait. Leave the area immediately and call 911 or your pipeline company.
Visit pipesafety.org. Brought to you by the Tennessee Gas Association.
He's a veteran journalist with over 43 years of experience, former managing editor of the Commercial Appeal, and member of the Tennessee Journalism Hall of Fame. Otis Sanford, now with Richard Ransom and Katina Rankin. Get his point of view, weeknights on Local 24 News at 5. You're watching Grizz Nation Live, sponsored by Family Leisure, where family and fun come together, and by Onyx Restaurant, jazz, wine, dine, mingle and mix.
Thanks for coming back to Grizz Nation Live. The Grizzlies blowout win over the Suns, allowing for one new Grizzly to make his regular season NBA debut.
Yeah, Yuta Watanabe became the second Japanese-born player to make an NBA appearance. Yuta Tabuse, same first name, different born though. Yuta Watanabe was the first ever Japanese-born college basketball player. Watanabe, sorry. And let me tell you what, Grizz Nation's Jessica Benson gives us a look at a historic night for the two-way big Yuta Watanabe.
When I walked into Grizzlies Media Day this year, about 20 minutes early, it was me and a dozen members of the Japanese media. And so began the Yuta Watanabe Grizzlies experience. Saturday night, Yuta making history wearing a Grizzlies uniform.
Making his regular season NBA debut.
With the Grizzlies up 25 over the Suns late in the fourth quarter, in came Yuta, becoming just the second Japanese-born player to appear in an NBA regular season game.
I've been working really hard. NBA has been my dream since I was a kid.
He hit a pair of free throws for his first career points.
His teammates were excited about it, and just it may be a small thing, but the fact that Marshawn, knew that it was his opportunity to get his first basket, and he cleared the play out, threw the ball to Yuta and let him go to work.
After signing a two-way contract with the Grizzlies in July, Yuta quickly evolved into one of the more intriguing players on the roster. One, because of the uniqueness of a Japanese player trying to make it in the NBA.
In Japan, basketball is getting popular last 4 or 5 years. But still, it's not that big.
But also because the 24-year-old big out of George Washington has shown he has the tools and the versatility that's so hot right now.
He is, what the modern NBA is. He's size, he's skill, his ability to shoot the basketball.
Off the court, Yuta's embraced his new home of Memphis. From hitting the chute to win a rookie dance contest, to appearing at the Memphis Japanese Festival.
I'm super happy to be here.
But it's not just about being here, and playing for 4 minutes and hitting 2 free throws certainly isn't the end goal.
He's not a guy that's in the NBA just because he's Japanese. He can play. He really can play, man, and the guys on the team love him.
He puts the work in, he's yes, please, thank you, every day.
I know this is only the beginning. I'm not satisfied at all. I'm going to keep working hard, but still, this means a lot to me. This means a lot to my family, too. They've been supportive for my entire life, and I'm really happy right now.
One day later, Yuta was back in South Haven with the hustle for Friends and Family Day. With his two-way contract, Yuta can spend 45 days with the Grizzlies. That ticker does not start until the G League season begins on November 3rd. For Grizz Nation Live, Jessica Benson reporting.
Now, real quick, Kenny Hoop. I mean, it looks like he's extremely athletic, got a nice little skill set.
This is not just some publicity stunt. This guy can play. He was the defensive player of the year in the A-10 for a reason at George Washington, and you saw the move, the spin move that got him to the foul line. I don't know if the scouting report's not out that he's left-handed, but every time I've seen a guy guard him, they almost force him left. He takes that opportunity. He's more athletic than you think. I'm going to look forward to seeing him develop. He needs the time down in South Haven, but the Grizzlies do feel like he has a shot to make the roster.
I hope so. Now, time out when time is back in. Of course, Eric and I wrap this thing up as we take a look at the week ahead. That's when Grizz Nation Live returns.
Feeling stressed out? Got aching muscles? Having trouble sleeping? Maybe we can help. Factory Direct Spa Sale going on now at Family Leisure. We've received truckloads of spas from our suppliers at discounted prices. Save 20, 30, even 50% or more. Plus, several free upgrades and extras with nearly every spa purchase. 4-person spas only $12.99. Swim spas as low as $99.99. Spoil yourself or someone you love. Don't miss out. Factory Direct Spa Sale going on now at Family Leisure.
Where family and fun come together.
We're expanding and modernizing the state's only children's hospital.
It's time for Children's of Mississippi to grow up so I can grow up. So I can grow up. So I can grow up.
So she can grow up.
So we can grow up. So we can all grow up.
Help Children's of Mississippi grow.
So Mississippi's children can grow.
Learn more and donate today at growchildrens.org.
Here's the case we talked about. They need you.
At Nahan, Saharovich, and Trotz, we handle serious car and truck wreck cases. This case was litigated. NST filed suit, hired experts, and took depositions. At mediation, the case was resolved for $2.2 million. That's the NST way.
663-7000.
Come visit Onyx Restaurant at 1680 Madison in Midtown. Come enjoy our daily lunch specials, live bands, and casual dinner dining in our new space specifically designed for your enjoyment. With live jazz and R&B every Thursday through Saturday, Onyx Restaurant is your best choice for good food and good times. Jazz, wine, dine, mingle, and mix. Onyx Restaurant on the corner of Madison and Belvedere.
You're watching Grizz Nation Live, sponsored by Family Leisure, where family and fun come together, and by Onyx Restaurant, jazz, wine, dine, mingle, and mix.
Thanks for coming back. The Grizzlies with just 2 games this week, 3 games before the next show, and the Grizzlies starting this week out Tuesday. The Grizzlies welcoming John Wall and the Washington Wizards today.
Wizards been a long road trip, Doc. They have not gotten off to the start they want, so people start talking. If it's not rolling for them, there's always those rumors that the Wizards don't seemingly get along.
Now, Friday, the Grizzlies back at Utah. The Grizzlies getting a good win over the Jazz at Utah last Monday. Got to try to do it again.
Hey, that's one of those things where you're going to see this team 3 times in your first 20 games, and this is the second meeting. They're going to be ready for a little payback, but you play physical with them like you did last time. You take away Donovan Mitchell. You got a chance to win that one, too.
The Phoenix Suns also going to want some payback when the Grizzlies go there a week from today.
Yeah, why do I feel like we're deja vu all over again? Like Yogi Berra once said, we're seeing all the same teams early going. But this is a good stretch for the Grizzlies. Get that home win if you can Tuesday. Get out of here 4-2. Get out on the road. Face a tough team in Utah, but plenty of time to work on the things you need to. If you look at the schedule, a lot of days off in between. You don't get that as the season moves along.
Now, and then next Monday, the Grizzlies taking on 2-time defending 3-time champion in the last 4 or 5 years, Golden State, for the first time this season, E.
Who? The Warriors?
Yeah.
They got some players?
Yeah.
They got a guy named Curry, maybe? 30? He wears the number 30,
no
right?
Doubt, no doubt.
Just throws up the ball. It seems to find the basket somehow. That's going to be a tough night. It always is. But the Warriors, even when the Grizzlies are struggling, have a lot of respect for the physicality. They have a lot of respect for Mike Conley, a lot of respect for Marc Gasol, and the system that the Grizzlies have run. They've always felt like that's one of the tougher teams. So they come with their A game that night on Monday for sure. Grizzlies have to be ready, because if you don't guard the perimeter against that team, if you get caught looking at the ball and not staying with your man, that extra pass can kill you. So we'll see how they play in those first couple of games. If they can feed off some good energy, second night of a back-to-back, always tough, especially tough when you're playing the Warriors.
Always tough when you're playing Golden State. But that's going to do it for this edition of Grizz Nation Live. Now, Eric, we know that Grizz Nation Live, Grizz Nation covers the entire Memphis and Shelby County, right? So Tigers Den is specifically under Grizz Nation as well. And the Tigers with a huge commit yesterday. DJ Jeffries committing to play for Penny Hardaway and the University of Memphis Tigers. We have at least one more to go here in town. The #1 overall player in the nation, James Wiseman. Hope he inks up next. But anyway, Tigers Den, Grizz Nation next week.
Thanks for watching Grizz Nation Live. Tonight's show was brought to you by Family Leisure, where family and fun come together. And by Onyx Restaurant. Jazz, wine, dine, mingle, and mix.